remember to bring your current insurance card with you to each appointment. Visit our website at primarycarewny.com to learn more about our practice and our physicians. Have you signed up for our patient portal? In addition to requesting or canceling an appointment, you can ask non-urgent questions. You requested callback to the
any of that. So now I'm recording. So those of you who are on the call heard all about the housekeeping. Now that it's being recorded, for those of you who are going to be listening after the fact, make sure you're following along with your syllabus, and any questions about where you need to be in the course, just email me directly, because I don't want to waste any more of Ed's time after just doing housekeeping and I forgot to press record. So you're on now, Ed. Love to hear a little bit about you before we get started with your presentation, because many students might be considering a career track as a career coach within an educational facility or institute. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your backstory, how you got to where you are today, and how someone maybe can leverage that to become a career coach themselves. So, and then go into the presentation.
Great. You know what, if you could just let me share my screen, that'd be great.
Yeah, let me do that. Okay, you're the co-host now, so you should be able to share your screen, no problem. Oh, he paused a little bit. Ed, you there? Maxwell or Lauren or Brooke, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, but
Yes,
I think I think Ed's frozen. While we're waiting for Ed to come back, here he comes. Yep.
Yeah, and then Jean, if you could just let me share my screen.
Yep, I believe I gave you rights, but maybe I have to give them again.
I just hit, you know, let multiple people share screen and that'll work. No, I think you got it. You got it. All right. So let me do this. Let me, first of all, let me just, to tell you about myself, I want to show you my LinkedIn profile because you might not remember what I'm going to say. So it's kind of a record of it, right? And that's what's really cool about LinkedIn is you can use it to see other people's career stories, right? Because that's pretty much what it is. It's kind of like an online resume and a lot more. So anyway, so you could see if I wanted to tell you about myself, if I was looking at me, I'd scroll down to my education. I'd start my education. So you can see here. So I got my bachelor's degree here at UB in psychology and communication. And in 1985, long time ago. Then I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do after I graduated. While I was an undergraduate student, I worked as an undergraduate peer advisor. So I was one of these people at orientation, a student worker at orientation, and I got to help.
We have a little delay there, so just be patient until he comes back on. It's one challenge is that we have from officing remotely. So just be patient. Everyone stand down and or get a drink until he comes back.
worked out here. So hopefully that won't happen again. I'm back.
All right, let me see if I have to give you your screen permission.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay,
All right, so we're gonna get back in here. So as I said, I was an academic peer advisor, love working with students. And so I thought maybe when I graduate, I thought maybe I'll go into like academic advising. So it's kind of funny. I actually then I went on for my communication degree, my graduate degree, my master's in communication, and I got to teach a class. I had a teaching assistantship as part of my graduate program. And so I got to teach at that time was an interpersonal communication class. It was a smaller class, and I got to teach people about communication skills. And I really liked doing that. And then basically I was thinking, I'll be like an academic advisor. And I saw a job posting for an academic advisor position at a school called Bryan and Stratton. And I asked my old boss, who I worked for when I was working for doing the peer advising stuff and orientation. I asked him for a letter of recommendation. And he said, well, why don't we come in and we could talk about it? So that's kind of weird. Usually they'll just say, yeah, I'll write your letter of recommendation. So I went in to meet with him about getting this letter for this other job. And he offered me a job, a temporary job in his office as what we call you'll see it in here. It was a student activities associate. So basically I assisted with student leadership programs, coordinated off-campus student services for commuters. I oversaw Parents Weekend, and I got to do some really cool stuff. I got to like book comedians and stuff for Parents Weekend, like Jay Leno and Dennis Miller, Smothers Brothers, Paula Poundstone, stuff like that. It was really cool. And then after that, they started a leadership development center. So I got to be the assistant director of this leadership development center. So I got to do presentations about leadership for student groups and classes and stuff. And it was all about leadership. And then I got to be the director of the leadership center, right? And so what I found was that the types of things I did as an assistant director were different as a director. A director was more of a managerial position where I'm overseeing other people. I remember having to make decisions about like what color we're painting the walls in the office and stuff like that, right? And I didn't like to do that stuff. I wanted to work with students. I don't want to like oversee big programs and things. So then there was an opening here in the career services office that I now work in. And then I basically got transferred over to working in the career services from this director position. And now I get to do what I love. I get to talk one-on-one with students. I get to do presentations. I don't have to worry about what color we're painting the walls of the office, right? And so this really meets my skill set. You know, it's what I love to do. And so that's what I've been doing. And I've been here in for almost 15 years now in the career services office. Now, how do you get to be someone like myself? So basically, the job of working in career services is part of a bigger pool of jobs that we call working in higher education or student affairs. So student affairs jobs and higher education jobs are things like when you work at a college or university, but you're not teaching a class. You're doing support work in career services, in advising, academic advisor, admissions, student activities. Those are what we call student affairs jobs, and you can go for an actual graduate degree in higher education / student affairs administration. And many of the people that I work with have that type of a degree, a master's degree. At the time I got this job, I needed a master's degree to work in higher education. Now there are entry-level positions, like there's going to be there. In fact, it's posted today. It's a career design consultant, which is basically my job. And you could apply even if you have an undergraduate degree, master's degree probably preferred, But, so now that's the kind of training you would need. I would say if you want to do something like this, you should keep an eye out on our Bullseye Powered by Handshake job portal for when we start to hire. It'll be towards the end of this year, I believe, this semester. We're going to hire career peer coaches. So these are students, paraprofessionals, we call a student worker, who basically does what I do, but is a student or a graduate student. And so that would be one of the best ways to prepare for it. But any opportunities where you're working with students, helping them one-on-one, like a career, like maybe a resident advisor, things like that. But yeah, and that's basically how you get into this kind of career. In fact, some of the people that we're hiring, new hires, they don't really have experience in career development, but they do have experience working with students, right? So yeah, so that's how I got to be where I am. I think I want to talk about, the next thing I want to talk about is your two options for your assignment, all right? So basically what you want to do for option one is to make an appointment, a career services practice interview. Let me show you how to do that. So what you're going to do is I'm going to open up our website here and I'm going to share that. Okay. Since I can't open that website, hang on 1 second. There I am. I'm back. Let me just do this. Let me go over to another let me go over to another internet on my house. And in the meantime, what I want you all to do is to open up the UB Career Services website. You can do that right now. UB Career Services website. And I'm going to meet you back here. Okay. Am I on? Okay. All right, good. I didn't think I was on. Okay, so now let me go to UB. Oh, you gotta give me screen sharing again. I lost my ability to screen share. Now I am. Okay, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to our UB Career Services website. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna scroll down to the very, very bottom of the page where it says Bullseye Powered by Handshake, login, sign up. This is the footer of our page. You click here, log in, sign up. When you do this, it's probably going to ask you, it might ask you to put in the school name. So just put Buffalo and it'll take you to the University of Buffalo. Then what you're going to do is it might ask you to answer some questions about yourself. You'll need your UBIT name and your password, and it might say things like, oh, where do you want to work? You want a job or an internship, blah, blah, blah. It'll ask you all these goofy questions. Just hit continue, continue, continue until you get to this page. This is the dashboard for Handshake, which is the company that we contract with to do our job board, basically. All right, and much more. So now what you're going to do is you're here. So what you could do to make an appointment for a career, an internship, a practice interview, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Career Center, click here, and then you're going to click on Appointments. Now, when you click on Appointments, it's not going to show it the same way for me, but when you click on Appointments, what it will do will ask you, what are you looking for? What do you need help with? So when you click on Appointments, you click on Help with an Interview or Help Interview. Then it will ask you for, you could then schedule what we call a practice interview. And then when you click on Practice Interview, it will show you people, it'll show you different people's schedules for who in our office has a time slot available for a practice interview, right? And Career Center and then Appointments. Now, don't look for me in there because in our office, we designated certain people to work on certain types of appointments. So like I won't be an available staff person to do a resume, cover letter, or online profile review. I won't be an available staff member to do a practice interview. But there's plenty of other people in our office who will be available to do a practice interview. So then you'd schedule that practice interview. I think it might be a 30-minute appointment. I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
You'll have to look in there and see when you go to schedule it. Okay. So you schedule that practice interview in time to do your assignment. So that's one way to do your assignment, the practice interview. The other way would be a tool called the UB Career Connector Network. And that, let me just show you how to get to that. So for that, you're going to type in Buffalo firsthand.co. So again, I'll put it in the chat so you can go right to it. Where's my chat? Where's the chat? Oh, there it is. Buffalo.firsthand.co. Now, here's what you're going to do then. You click on Get Advice. Now, I've been having a problem with people going in and continuing to create this handshake, or not handshake, but firsthand, right? Handshake's different. Handshake's where we just were. This is firsthand. And then don't make your profile with your LinkedIn profile. Don't hit continue with LinkedIn because it'll basically read you as if you're a mentor, read you as if you're an advisor going in here to help other students. You want to click on University at Buffalo sign on, or you can do it with your email address and password. But I would try the University of Buffalo sign on. Now, what you're going to eventually do in here, and I will log in with my LinkedIn one. So eventually you're going to have to create a profile in here to use this system. And again, it's going to ask you like your year in school. It might ask you your major, what interests you, what industries you're interested in, even what company you might be interested in working. Just fill it out the best you can until you get to a place where it'll say people at the top. Okay. And once it says people, now I click on a list of advisors that are in here, people that have gone in here, they're all UV alums, and they all said, yes, I want to give students advice. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to click in here to look for them by maybe their field of study or their industry. Let's just say that your industry is media. So you want to click on people who are in arts, crafts, broadcast media, computer game design, entertainment, graphic design, right? Marketing, advertising, media production. Now, and here I go. I filtered those people. So here's a digital marketing manager at Paychex. So you want to set up a meeting with him. You click on his name and look at right here. It says right here, book my available times. So that means tomorrow, Wednesday, April 14th at 5:30 or 6, he's available to meet with you. It'll be a phone conversation. The system will automatically set it up so you could talk to him by phone. You can then change this to the topic of, he happens to not have the topic of practice interview, but you could still set up a meeting with him, and then in your communications with him, ask him if he'll do like a practice interview with you. Other people that you find in here, when you look at their profile, they might have it set so that you could do so some of them have practice interview, so you have to look around. But my guess is if you could, even if you don't do it as a practice interview, you kind of do it as a information interview where you're kind of talking to them about their career, set it up like that. Some of them might be in here to do an actual practice interview. So Gene, you're gonna have to decide like whether or not they could find a person in here who didn't say practice interview as a choice. But
yep. So then what I would do is take it to a career conversation and then make it more about your career goals and how he could help you and consult you.
Yeah. And then when you go to our website, career services website, and then you go to, let me just make sure I'm on that. Yep. Now you click on majors and careers, how to make professional friends. Basically in our office, we talk about networking, meaning making professional friends, making connections with people and having a conversation with them. So then you can go into here and it gives, like different types of professional friends, blah, 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 right? I like this one here. You go here, information interviews. Now it's going to give you tips on how to introduce yourself to the person online, how to prepare for that video interview, because it's going to be a video interview, what kind of questions to ask about their career story. What's your educational background? How did you decide to go into that field? Generally, just like I did at the very beginning of this talk, people pretty much love to talk about their background and how they got into their field. And that's pretty much what you're starting with. Then you might ask about advice. You might ask about, what kind of skills are there in that particular field that you're looking for? How did they make it into that area or that industry? And you're just asking them questions, getting them to talk about themselves, and then asking good questions, right? And getting them to talk. And in doing that, you're going to get two things. One, they're going to give you some advice. So they might say, well, let's say you want to go into in social media marketing. Well, you better, maybe you should volunteer for a student organization to do their social media work, update their website, do their Twitter feed, stuff like that. They'll give you some advice. Then when you have that conversation with them, you are making a really good impression. You're pretty much interviewing, not for a job, but you're interviewing so that they will see something in you that clicks with them that makes them want to help you, right? That you make a good impression on them the same way you want to make a good impression on somebody who you're interviewing for a job for or interviewing for graduate school. Then so you're getting two things. You're getting information, but you're also getting a contact in the field. And that's what you're doing with these interviews. And you're also thinking about, well, not only can they help me, but maybe you could help them. Like maybe they're doing an event at their company, a fundraising event or some sort of event, and they need help getting people there. So what do? You help them. Maybe they posted something on LinkedIn about that event and you share that post on LinkedIn. You comment on it. You get people to go to their event. Now they just saw your event planning, your promotional skills. So think about how you can help these professionals as opposed to just get help from them, right? In fact, that's one of the best questions you could ever ask a professional is, do you have any projects or special events coming up that you need help with, right? Do you have any projects or special events coming up that you need help with? If you were to ask that to me, I'd say, yeah, I need help getting people to come to my 2 events this week, right? They're called Now Hiring Entertainment and Communications Talks tomorrow and Thursday at 3:00. You help me get people there, you will prove that you have good communication and marketing skills. Okay. So ask, how can you help? The other question you always ask at the end of that information interview is, who else would be helpful for me to talk to? Who else would be helpful for me to talk to? Because then they give you the name of a person that they know in the field you're interested in. You reach out to that person and you say, oh, Ed Brodka suggested I reach out to you. So if you mention my name when you reach out to the person I referred you to, then that person in that subject line, you wrote, Ed Brodka referred me to talk to you, they're probably going to read that email and answer that. I've done that before myself. I've referred my friends. I've referred students to my friend. I went to graduate school with, we were in the communication program together. His name is Greg Russo. And Greg Russo is an HR professional in a pharmaceutical company. So I remember I knew I was met with a student who wanted to do HR. And I think maybe in pharmaceutical sales or something like that. They either wanted pharmaceutical sales or HR. So I said, why don't you reach out to my friend Greg Russo on LinkedIn or email them or whatever. So he emailed some questions to Greg. Greg emailed him a nice email back. 3 weeks later, Greg emails me. He says, Ed, that student reached out to me. I sent him all this great information and advice. Never responded back to the email. Never said, oh, thank you for the information. Never said what they did or did they follow it up. He said, Ed, tell your students if they reach out to professionals, respond back to them. Because it made UB students look bad, it made me look bad. And so now I'm very careful when I refer people to my friends because I want to make sure that they're professional. Okay. So that's what you got to do. So that's how would you use those? That's how would you would get your assignment done. Now, when you're in Handshake, if you do want to meet with me, because a lot of times I'll do these class presentations and people want to meet with me, please don't email me and ask me, when are you available, right? What I'd love you to do to make the appointment is just go on Handshake, click on appointments in Handshake. Remember what we talked about before, appointments, and then you click on job internship search. If you get the job internship search appointment, then it's going to ask you for what industry or field do you want to be in, and you put whatever, you click any field. Then it'll say up above, staff member, no preference. That's going to show anybody in our office who's available appointments. If you want to meet with me, and I'd love to meet with you, you click on staff member and then find Ed Brodka, click on my name, it'll see my available appointments for the job and internship appointments. That's how you would meet with me if you want to do that. Okay, cool. Now, let me show you some cool stuff in this slideshow. There we go. Hang on. Okay, so we're going to talk about using LinkedIn for career success and in interviews. You can use it in interview. I'll show you how. So first thing I want you to do is make sure that you join one of these 6 or more what we call career communities. So I oversee the arts, design, entertainment, communications career community, depending on what your major is. Let's say you're pre-law. Well, join the current government law, international affairs policy career community, or healthcare, or nonprofit, education, social impact. You want to do something with the environment, it'd probably be in social impact. Now, how do you join that career community? So what you do is you're going to go back in the bullseye, and then upper right-hand corner, right here, see where my picture is, and that's 71 notifications. Click on where your picture is, or your initials, if you didn't upload your picture to your profile. And you're going to click on career interests. Now what you're going to do is you're going to tell the system what you're looking for. You're going to tell Handshake what you're looking for. So I'm assuming somewhere out there in this class is somebody who wants to do, say, social media marketing in an arts or entertainment company, let's just say. So here's what you're going to do. And you're looking for an internship. You click on internship. How can Handshake help you? You say, I want an internship. Then what options after graduation? You put working. What roles? You don't have to type in a certain role here, but if you wanted to, you could put something like social media intern. Bam. Right? Now, where do you want to do that? Well, let's say you want to do it in New York City, Buffalo, or Rochester. You type in the city. Then what career cluster? These are those career communities. You click on arts, design, entertainment, career community, maybe even management, sales, consulting, finance, or whatever one of these career communities interests you. Then we're going to talk about the industry that you want to be in. So if you want to be in, say, performing arts, fine arts, movies, television, TV, maybe you want to do something with journalism, media, publishing, advertising, marketing, design, sales, and marketing. You click those industries. Handshake knows what industries you're looking at. It's going to push you things related to that through the system. You could even click on what kind of job function you're interested in, like advertising, media, PR. But you might want to do media work, advertising work in a healthcare organization, right? Work for a hospital, being their social media director or their website. So it's working in a certain job function, but in a certain industry, right? So it's your job function is one thing. It's what you do. The industry is the type of company you do it in. Okay. All right, then you're going to save your career interests, right? Then you're going to create a nice profile in here. Just like you're making a LinkedIn profile, you make a nice Handshake profile, right? You go in here, this is your journey. What do you want to do? Why'd you decide you wanted to do that? What have you done before that's related to it? Blah, 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 right? About you. Make sure you put a picture in here, right? Always on your online profiles, whether it's LinkedIn or Handshake, put a picture. And here's a little tip about a picture. So here I am, you're seeing me in the screen, right? picture, that's kind of what I want my picture to be like a square, just like this. Now, here's a secret for having a good picture taken. What you do, you take your body, and you turn your body to the left like this. So I'm facing the left. Then I look at the camera. So now it looks a little more natural, okay? Because I'm not just looking at the camera like this, like a passport photo or a mugshot, right? Amelia, I can see your picture. That's a really great picture. See how it's kind of natural looking? She's looking towards the side, right? A little bit, right? So what I tell people to do is turn to the left when you have your picture taken. Why? Because watch what will happen when I post that picture on my site. Now, when you post your picture there, you're facing the content on your profile. Same thing with LinkedIn. When I post my picture on LinkedIn, I'm facing the material on my profile. If I take that picture and I'm leaning toward the left, but I'm looking at the camera. All right, let's go back to Handshake. Where the heck did Handshake go? All right, let's see here. No, that's not it. Hang on one second. Gonna give you a little break. All right. I'm in Handshake. And then I'm gonna go to there we go. Okay, so now I'm back in Handshake and I am updating my profile. I got my picture. Your education will already be in Handshake. Whereas on LinkedIn, you got to add your education to your LinkedIn profile. Then you're adding work and volunteer experience. Where do you work? If you do a job at UB, here's what you do. You enter the employer as University of Buffalo or State University of New York at Buffalo. Your job title will be the job title and then dash the office or the lab or the club, whatever it is where you're doing it at UB. But the employer's UB, job title and office like that. And then you're adding your description, your bullet points right from here and putting them on your profile. Same thing we're going to talk about in Experience in Handshake or in LinkedIn. You're going to add your organizations and extracurricular activities. You're going to add coursework, right? Social media marketing course, whatever, some kind of courses that relate to what you want to do, more upper level courses. Interviewing course, you're taking this course, you put in here interviewing. You don't have to put the number of the course, just put the course name. Courses almost act like keywords in your profile. Okay? Then projects. Think about projects you've done in your classes, a job off campus or professional, paraprofessional experience. You're a resident advisor and you did a project on something, boom, you put that in there. Next, you're going to add skills or keywords about yourself. Minor career coaching, Clifton Strengths, LinkedIn, public speaking, staff training. You're going to add in here keywords like social media marketing, right? And then, brand management, stuff like that. You look at the type of jobs that you're looking for, and then you put in those type of keywords in here. Keyword skills on your resume, your paper resume, they tend to be skills that are more related to technical skills or field specific skills. Whereas online profiles, I want your skills to be keywords plus your technical skills. Then you're going to take the resume that you all have. You're going to go to Manage Documents and you upload the recent copy of your resume. Okay. And there you are. Now you can use this by finding jobs for, say, let's go put in here social media. as a keyword. Look at 825 jobs posted in here for social media. Now I go to internships only, location, New York City, 179. Social media internship, remote. Here they are. Okay. Then what you can do is click on 16 kids, click on the company name. Now what's going to happen is it's going to give you that company's handshake profile. Now, look, here's 5 students from UB or another school who worked there in the past. I can see all those 5 students. I can message them to the system, ask them how did they get their internship at that company. Now I got an in, right? So you can use that jobs function to find jobs. Also filter the jobs by the industry you're interested in. Like, let's say my industry is media. Journalism, media, public relations, publishing. So here's all the jobs posted in here under that type of, look at there, here's a news photographer, full-time job at Sinclair Broadcast Group in Buffalo. You want to, now that's a full-time job. You want an internship. So here's what you do. Go in here, find people who work at Sinclair or who worked there before, and ask about an internship, even though they got a job, a full-time job posted. And you might even be able to see people in here. Oh, you might be able to see people in here. Like this news photographer right here. You can message him through LinkedIn or through Handshake. What I would do, you find somebody on here. See, what the issue with Handshake is, you don't know if they've actually kept their Handshake profile open or up to date. So what you do is you look for them on LinkedIn. Most likely their LinkedIn profile is more up to date than their Handshake if they're an alum. Okay. Now, so that's the jobs tab. Now, let's look for companies. Watch this. I go to employers on here, and I'm going to look for employers in, say, New York City, in the industry of advertising, PR marketing. And here they are. Now I can sort them by their size. Let's say I want a smaller company, like up to 50 people. Here's 1,800 Public Relations Inc. Bam. I can now reach out to someone at that company, go to their website, reach out to someone who works there, and they're going to be like, how'd you find us? You say, I got my ways. Then you're reaching out to them, right? You might be the only student who's reached out to 1,800 Public Relations Inc. and asking about an internship. So now you are not even competing with anybody, right? But you say, hey, I'm going to, I can help you out. I got these social media marketing skills. So you're actually creating your own internships. All right, that's the jobs tab. Next, your events tab. These are things posted in Handshake by companies. And then our office has like, here you go. You want to do me a favor? Go into this now hiring entertainment talk. Just click for non-hire and you register.
It's extra credit, people, when you do
Extra
that.
credit. Then there's another one on Thursday called hiring communications talk. Here's what I got coming for that. Remember, it's all about networking. So Stephen Marth, managing editor at Spectrum News. He was a comm major, psych, and journalism major. Then I found this alum in New York City, Michael Ortez. He works with Gotham Podcast Studios.
That's awesome.
I found him on LinkedIn. I'll show you how. He got his interdisciplinary social science degree from BA. So you're going to meet them on these. My goal is to help you meet people at these events. even though I'm going to be covering very similar material I'm covering now, the only difference is I'm going to let them talk about their thing. I'm involved in the National Comedy Center here in Jamestown. A friend of mine, Rich Ryan, he's the director of development. Means he helps to raise money for this National Comedy Center. And then I also have a new panelist who's either going to be on this one or the Thursday one. Her name is Stephanie Ma, and she's a media purchaser for some company called Arts and Science. So you're going to meet her at one of these other programs. So get into these events and look for the other events that we have too. We have another one that's about how I got hired during COVID. That's a great one. Here, how I got hired during COVID-19. Look at these panelists, man. Here's a community outreach volunteer at Compass House, cybersecurity analyst, marketing specialist at Moog. Oh man, Moog, what a great company. They're in East Aurora. They make parts for the space shuttle. So you're gonna meet them when you log into these events. It's all about meeting people, right? Now, next thing, this next tab here, click on students. Now look for all the students on any school's handshake system, but let's sort it by UB students. Let's look for alumni and seniors in the major of communication. Communication and media studies is how it's listed here. And here they are. Social media assistant at Rosella Studio. Bam, there she is. What do? Again, you could message her here. What I would do, I go like this. Copy, bounce into LinkedIn, put her name in LinkedIn, paste. Here she is. Oh, she's open to work. That means she's working there, but she's also could be open to other work. Oh, that's it. That's because it's an internship, right? That's where she's doing her internship. She got her internship there. She's going to be leaving. Internships are temporary, which means you could talk to her about being the next intern at Rosella Studio, right? So how do you reach out to her? You go like, oh, we're already connected. Oh, and by the way, that green dot, that means that she's on LinkedIn right now, or she's got the app open. Okay. So we're already connected. I do want to show you how to connect with someone that we're not already connected with. Okay. So here's how you're going to connect with. If you want to connect with me, here's how you're going to do it. And I'll only accept you as an invite on your invite if you send me a message on LinkedIn asking me to connect. Okay. So here's what you do. If you've already done it, some people already do it. You've already done it. But if you've already done it, that's okay. But here's what you're going to do. So who do I want to connect with? All right. So let's say I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go Buffalo and go to University of Buffalo's LinkedIn page. All right. This is the best thing about LinkedIn, this page right here. University of Buffalo's LinkedIn page. Now I'm going to click on alumni. What this is all the alumni and current students who are on LinkedIn and faculty and staff. Now I'm going to go show more. This is the top 15 companies that hire those folks. Now let's just say you're a sports nut and you want to work at ESPN, right? So here I'm going to look for, this is where they live. I could sort it by city. I can add a city if I'm relocated. Now I want to work at ESPN. I want to get in and know someone at ESPN, right? ESPN Sports Read, right? ESPN. We got 18 alumni working at ESPN. Now if I scroll down, here they are. He's a marketing coordinator, ESPN. Taylor Woods. Be cool to get to know her, right? Have a conversation with her. Here's how you're going to connect. You would always add a note when you connect. First of all, do your homework on her profile. Look and see, what's her activity? What is she, what has she posted? What has she said? What has she commented on, right? This is like social media and that you're active on it. I'm looking here, I get 28 mutual connections with her. Here's her about section. So she's telling me her skills, her career path. Look, she got her master's in sports management. She's working as a graduate assistant, fan experience with Tennessee Athletics. Here's her featured section. She's got her resume up here. She's got her online profile up here. Her featured section, that's her stuff, right? That she wants to show off. Here's her experiences. I can see she's been there almost 2 years. I can see what she's done before that. Sure enough, she was a student athlete here at UB, sports marketing intern at UB. How do I connect with her? Oh, let's see what else she's got. Oh, look at her skills, right? Top 3 skills: athletics, sports management, student development. Her accomplishments, organization she's into, honors, awards. How do you connect with her? You hit connect. If you don't see the term connect, click on the 3 little dots and one of them will say connect. Here's what I do. I go connect. Always hit add note. Do not hit send. I repeat, do not hit send. You hit add note. Then you're going to write her a nice note. You got 300 characters or words. I don't know. I think it's words. 300 characters. You're going to say, Dear Taylor, I see from your LinkedIn profile that you were a business marketing major at UB, and you're now working in sports marketing. That's the first thing you say about her. What did you notice about her? Then you're going to talk about yourself. Who are you? Now you're going to say, I am a communication major at UB, interested in sports management or sports marketing. Then what? Third sentence is, what do you want to have happen? I was hoping to connect with you on LinkedIn, so we might have a conversation about any advice you might have for me if I wanted to get into this career, right? Then you put regards, best regards, a dash, and whatever, your name, and then you send it. Now, it's very important that you do this from a laptop and not your LinkedIn app, right? The LinkedIn app, you can get to all these things. A lot of this stuff, not everything I showed you, can you do from your LinkedIn app. So you want to use your laptop. But if I were to look for Taylor Woods on my LinkedIn app and hit the connect button, it won't give me an option to add a note. It's actually a glitch in the LinkedIn app. So don't connect with people using the app, only on your laptop so you can write a nice note. Now, what does that note look like? Here's what it looks like. You go to my LinkedIn profile, scroll down to my featured section right here. That's my featured section. What I've done is I've dropped in here a template for how to reach out to someone. How do you write that note? Then once she accepts me as an invite, now I got to do something. I can't just connect with her and just forget about her. What I want to do is I want to set up a meeting with her. I want to set up an information interview with her. Here's how you do that. Now once you get the notification that she accepted you as an invite, now you're going to connect with her, or now you're going to message her. Because once you connect with someone on LinkedIn, you can message them. Here's what you're going to do. You can say, thank you for responding, dear, whatever her name was. Thank you for responding back to me. If you're willing to meet with me for a brief 30-minute conversation, I'm available on the following days and times. Then you're going to suggest 3 days in the next 2 weeks and time frames like 1 to 4, right? Or 3 to 5. And then you're going to give her those 3 options. Then you're going to say, please let me know if any of these work for you. If not, when might you be available? You want to give her options, because if you say, when are you available to meet with me? Then she's got to look at her calendar, figure out all the days and times she can meet with you, send them to you, wait for you to respond. It's kind of like inviting someone over to your house or out to dinner. You don't say to someone, when are you available to come to my house? You say, I'd like to invite you for these 3 days. What works for you? Much easier. Then they respond back. Once they respond back to you, then you can easily set up that time to, then you're going to, you're just setting up that time to meet with them and making that meeting happen. Also, in my featured section, here's a 1-hour recording about how to make a good LinkedIn profile and how to use LinkedIn. It's a webinar I recorded in September for alumni, but any student, anybody can watch that, even if you're not a UB student or alum. It's all about, it's what I'm telling you not now, but specifically about LinkedIn. Okay. So let's go to starting a good profile. That's how to connect with people, but don't connect with people until you have a good profile, right? So this is my background. You should have a good background, right? So if you were to go to, I think it's called Canvas or something like that. It's like a graphics program, Canva, I believe it's called. Well, what Canva can do for you is it can help you have an actual template for a LinkedIn banner. We call this your banner. So you can make your banner be a picture of yourself with words about you, like social media, marketing, blah, 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 right? And now it's showing the person looking at your profile that you know how to dress up a LinkedIn profile. You know how to market yourself through LinkedIn by making your profile look good. One of my favorite LinkedIn people, her name is Donna Serdula. Her job, she made a living out of helping people with their LinkedIn profile. Look what she made, how she made hers, right? And so dress up that background. It also could be as simple as a picture. Let's say you're an environmental studies major, you put, a bunch of trees or something, or wind turbines or stuff back there. And she's got her picture here, right? What I like about her profile, here's why you want to go to it. Scroll down all the way down to the bottom of Donna Serdula's profile and go to her project section. See these projects, this project? She's only got one project in here. But what it is, I hope I didn't. What it is a bunch of icons, a bunch of emojis and stuff that you can use to dress up your LinkedIn profile. That's literally why she put them here. So if you're, let's say you want to be a writer or you want to work in fashion or whatever, you take one of these icons to kind of spice up your LinkedIn profile. Okay. I use the check mark in my headline. That's what I stole from her LinkedIn profile. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my profile. So we'll keep that check. So here's where I put my check marks, right? In my headline. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then I got my headshot in here. Then my name. You might think your name's pretty easy, right? However, what you should do is put your name in this search box and see if there's anybody else with your name on LinkedIn. And if there is, you might want to add a middle initial to your name so you stand out a little bit. So I might make it Edward F. Brodka in here, okay? What's that speaker? I'll tell you what that speaker is. Hang on 1 second. So if you were to go on my profile, wonder what's that name? Brodka? No, right here. Click on the speaker.
Hi, my name is Ed Brodka.
So now I recorded, you got 15 seconds to record the pronunciation of your name. You could even give a little message, you know? You got 15 seconds to do it. But you can only make this recording from the LinkedIn app. You got to go to your profile on the LinkedIn app, click on your name, and it'll have a little speaker there. You hold that down, and then you got 15 seconds to make that recording. So I encourage you to do that, especially if you have a name that might be a little harder to pronounce. All right, next is my headline. What this is these are keywords about me. I want you to get to know me by reading my headline. Many of you right now, your headline will say, student at University of Buffalo. That's not going to cut it. You want to talk about who you are. So my job title is actually career design consultant. What do? I'm a workshop facilitator. I do a lot of these workshops. I consider myself a networking-LinkedIn educator. I talk a lot about the NACE career readiness competencies. I'll get to those in a minute. Then I'm also a Gallup certified Clifton Strengths coach. Back in December, I actually got certified as a laughter yoga leader. So I lead people in laughter activities to help them with wellness and stuff like that. Okay, that's who I am. So you would do certain things like this. You might put in your major, then a check mark or another emoji, then write social media marketing, then my experienced student leader, experienced intern, something like that. And then at the end, the last one, put in there seeking. Put seeking internship summer 2021 in NYC, right? Seeking full-time opportunities, seeking connections in music or whatever. Tell them what you're seeking on LinkedIn. That's how you write your headline. So make sure that you write a headline. And you got quite a bit of characters in here. Next, this is your open to. So now don't say open here. Go here to open to work. Watch this. It's open to work. I click here. Now I put the different sections that what I'm open to doing there. Here, this is it. Here, get started. Share. No. Where is it? Edit this. There you go. I edit this. I put some of my job titles I might be interested in. Let's say career counselor. Where do I want to work? Am I open to remote work? Am I immediately actively applying? Then watch this. You click on recruiters only. If you only want recruiters to see that you're open to work, because if you work somewhere, you might want to tell them that you're open to work, right? So here, if it doesn't matter to you, then you click on all LinkedIn members and you hit save. Now watch what will happen. Open to work. Okay. Let me get that off just so my doesn't go. I edit there, and then I would go like this and save. Okay, that's the top part of your profile. The other sections of your profile, you're going to add profile sections. This above here is my introduction. This is my about section. It's a description of what I'm looking for, who I am, what experiences do I have, what internships have I done already. It's literally a summary of what they're going to see on the rest of your profile. Your featured section. You could feature media, like here you go. This is the PowerPoint I usually use for this presentation. So you could click and see my LinkedIn presentation on my featured section. So I put samples of my work. So figure out what you would want to feature on your LinkedIn profile. Maybe you feature a paper that you wrote. Maybe you featured a website that you did, you designed that website, right? Or a reference letter that an employer wrote, your featured section. Next, your background. It's going to be your work experience, your education, licenses, certification, volunteer experience. Next is your skills section. We talked about the skills section on the handshake profile. So your skills section is going to look like this. Oh, where's skills? There you go. So what you want to do is make your top 3 skills, the top 3 keywords of your profile. So I want to be known for LinkedIn, Clifton Strengths Finder, and career counseling. Figure out what 3 words you want to be known for. Social media marketing, brand management, whatever, right? These are things that you know about or that you think you're skilled at. Keywords about yourself. When you look at someone's profile, you only see the top 3. So make sure these top 3 are good ones. Then you can show more and you can see the other ones. Then when you're connected to someone, like my connections can go in and they can endorse me for LinkedIn. They can endorse me for Strengths Finder or career counseling or any of my other skills. But only my connections can do that. So when you're connected to someone, go in and endorse them for stuff that they're skilled at. Then they're going to get a notification that you've endorsed them for that. And they'll maybe say thank you. Maybe they'll endorse you for one of your skills. Okay. So that's the skills. You can also take a skills quiz on LinkedIn for different types of skills like Excel, right? HTML, right? Other skills. And then it actually shows that you kind of passed this skills test on LinkedIn. Okay. And then you want to edit the order of your skills. Like let's say I want career counseling to move down. So I use that tab there and I put up career counseling up. I can move it up with these left-hand tabs. Then I can move it within that section with those tabs there. Okay. That's how you're going to move them around. All right. Next, recommendations. You can actually write recommendations for people, right? Somebody helped you out. You worked in a group with someone, great professor or whatever that you're connected with. You can write them on recommendation. You can even ask your connections for recommendations as well. Accomplishments, right? So that's going to be in this tab here. I go to add profile section, accomplishments. I can add in publications, courses that I've taken, projects, honors, awards, languages I speak, organizations. So add those sections in there. That's how to make a good profile. Add stuff to it. Now watch this. So if I scroll down and I look at my experience section, so what did I do? Under my experience section, for career design consultant, I can also add media. So I uploaded our website and the link for Bullseye Powered by Handshake. So what links, what documents, what pictures, what video of you do you want to upload to your profile to make it more visual or interactive? Okay. So add stuff to that. Next, you want to put on your resume your LinkedIn URL. That's basically the website of your LinkedIn profile. Most of you, it probably just says your name and a bunch of numbers and letters. If it says that, you can edit that, because if you put a bunch of numbers and letters and LinkedIn, blah, 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 your name on your resume, it's not going to look that good. So what you do is you edit your public profile URL. Here's how you do that. You go over here to edit public profile. Then you click here to edit your custom URL. I click there. You take out all the dashes and numbers and just make it your first, last name, all small case, no spaces, and then you save that. If there's somebody else with that same URL, add a number after it, or add your middle initial, something like that. Customize your LinkedIn URL, then that's what you're just going to cut and paste when you put your LinkedIn URL on your profile. Okay, now, here's my activity. You can't just be on LinkedIn. You really should do stuff on LinkedIn. So these are the things I posted recently. So if you really want to connect with me, if you really want me to notice you on LinkedIn, notice what I do on LinkedIn. Comment on a post. So I just posted this. This is a post I wrote recently about the arts, design, entertainment, career, these panel discussions that I'm running this week. So here's what you do. You go in here and you comment and say, I'm planning on attending. I'm registered. Now, when you do that, I'm going to notice your comment. Also, when you do that, you're basically sharing my content with other people that you're connected to on LinkedIn. So that's going to help me. It's also going to help you because you're being active on LinkedIn. You're doing something on LinkedIn. You can also share what I posted, right? You can share other people's posts. So do that, right? Interact with other people's content on LinkedIn, especially if you want to connect with them or after you connected with them, before you ask them to meet with you, interact with their content, right? And then they're much more likely to then take you serious on LinkedIn because you've interacted with them. The other thing you could do on LinkedIn is start a post. That's basically how I posted those things. I just said, you know what? I want to post a photo, right? So I selected the image of the logo for basically these. I selected an image that I wanted. Always use an image in a post, right? Picture's worth 1,000 words, right? And then, I don't know why it's blinking like that. Let me just refresh my screen. So start a post or post a video. Oh, if a picture's worth 1,000 words, a video's worth 1,000,000 words. What you do is you make a video of yourself talking about yourself, what you're interested in, and you post that videos, I guarantee it's going to get some views. And now they're going to see how you communicate as opposed to just telling them you're a good communicator, right? You can also write an article on LinkedIn. So let's say you take a paper you wrote about the importance of social media during the age of COVID, right? So what you do, you find a picture, you take that paper that you wrote, get it into about 8 or 9 paragraphs, add images, video, write it in Word. Then pick a picture or a photo that represents your topic. Then you write your headline of the title of your article. 3 reasons why social media is important during COVID, whatever. Then you upload your Word document, your article. You click on publish. Here's what it's going to look like. If you look at my activity, you'll see my article. I only wrote 1 article. All activity articles. So I wrote an article 5 years ago about how LinkedIn is like being in a conference, right? So I had a picture of people at a conference. Improve your LinkedIn profile. Think about LinkedIn like attending a conference, a really big conference. Then I talk about how LinkedIn is like a conference. your art, how to make a good profile, blah, 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 right? So then my article has a LinkedIn URL. Here it is. So then you can take that LinkedIn URL, you can message it and send it to people that you're connected to on LinkedIn and have them interact with it, share it, like it, right? And that's going to get you some views on LinkedIn. Articles, posts, share things on LinkedIn. Comment on other people's posts, like I said. Here's my activity feed. Okay. Follow people, connect with people who are interested in the same things you are, right? I happen to follow a lot of people. This guy here is awesome. His name is Andrew Tarvin. He considers himself a humor engineer. And he posts a lot on LinkedIn. He's wrote a book about using humor in the workplace. I met with him. He charges $5,000 for a 1 hour Zoom call with like a presentation. And he's a stand-up comedian and he's amazing. So I would follow him on LinkedIn, right? Just click on more and then click on follow and you'll see some cool stuff about it. He's great. All right. Then to find things on LinkedIn, right? You just type in social media, right? And then I'm going to go social media in that search box. Now I can find people about social media. Look, here's a social media coordinator at Tops. And I want to find people in NYC. Here's social media marketing people in New York City. Then I could look for whatever I put in that search box. I could look for people. I could search those people by filters like where they live, what company they work at, where they went to school, the UB people, social media marketing. Okay. And then I could look for jobs about social media. Sort those jobs by New York City. When you look for a job posting on LinkedIn, look, here's a social media marketing coordinator at Creative Edge. It actually tells me there's already 2 alumni working at Creative Edge. I click there and I can see who those alums are. And I can reach out to them and ask them for advice about applying to that job. I can look for posts about social media as other people's content. I could look for LinkedIn groups about social media or any, you substitute social media for anything you're interested in. Acting, singing, football, sports, whatever it is. Put it in that search box and look for people, posts, LinkedIn groups, right? Oh yeah, you gotta get into LinkedIn groups. So every one of you should join this LinkedIn group. There you go. Alumni Association LinkedIn group. Right here. State University of New York Alumni Association LinkedIn group. You click on request to join. Once you're in, you're going to be able to message 15,000 UB alumni directly without being connected to them. Okay? In all different fields. So get into LinkedIn groups related to stuff that you want to do. And again, I'd appreciate it if you help me spread the word about these activities I have coming up for these hiring talks. We also have one coming up for environment and sustainability. Those are in here. All right. Look, it's got I posted it yesterday, it's got 610 views on LinkedIn. I can even do some analytics about who's looked at it. All right. Last thing, how am I doing on time?
You are at 6:23, so I think you touched on a lot of different things. The only thing, if you can do security settings to make sure that they are not flagging every time they make a change.
Yeah. So if you were to go into your profile and you say you add a new experience, watch this. So I go like this, I go plus or add a new experience, and I'm a cashier. Don't worry about employment type. Let's say I'm going to be a cashier at McDonald's. And I'm currently doing this work, right? Currently we're doing this work. Now look what it does. Look at the default. It says update my headline to cashier at McDonald's. So if I click save right now, it's going to completely erase my headline with all those great check marks and everything. And it's going to put cashier at McDonald's. So I don't want that to happen. I'm going to click update my headline too. Then look at this. I think this is what Jean was referring to.
Yeah.
This is share my network. So I got that off. So it means if I add another experience or activity in my profile, my network won't be notified of that. If I put this on and now I add a new experience, then my network might get a notification that says Ed just started a new job, right? Let me just make sure I got this right so I don't. Okay, so that's how you would add that privacy setting. There's other privacy settings under here, under settings and privacy. You can manage other things. And just make sure that you're able to see who's viewed your profile so that you can see who's viewed your profile and other people can see when you view their profile. Because you want to get seen by people when you view their profile, because then they'll look at your profile, right? And unless it's not good enough to look at, just for now, just make a good profile. Don't worry about that other setting. All right. And please make sure you know about, you go to Career Services website, make sure that you are looking at interviews, how to stand out, and then look for the career competencies that all employers are looking for, and making sure that you articulate these career competencies, because you know employers are looking for these things. Also, make sure that when you click on interviews, you are using Big Interview. That's an online practice tool to practice your interviewing skills virtually. Go to Big Interview, log in, you make an account for yourself, and then you're going to go practice. I'm going to do a practice interview about my competencies and skills of, say, creativity. And then I scroll here and it's going to say someone will literally come up on the screen and say, tell me about yourself. And they're going to ask me these questions, and then I record them with my webcam. So Big Interview, great tool to practice your interviewing skills.
Great. This was wonderful. This was a lot that I even learned, and I'd love to kind of just poll the students that are on this call and just kind of ask for volunteers. And I would love to know if they even were aware of the robust career center you do have online. when's the last time they may have looked at it, if at all, and then learn more if they learned more about LinkedIn. So who would like to go first? I'd just like to get your takeaway, what you learned and what you're going to apply. Okay, so I'm going to call on Lauren. Lauren, would you like to share your insights?
Sure. So I like signed up for one of the virtual events while you were talking about it. So that's
Cool.
what I took from this.
Awesome. Thank
One of
you.
the things I took from this.
Good. And make sure you show up to those. Generally, one half of the students who register an event actually show up. You know what? Half of life is showing up, and we don't record those. It's not like this. We're not recording it. So you miss it, you miss it, because we want you to show up for it.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's great. How about you, Brooke? What did you learn from this?
I really liked the part where you could like contact alumni and stuff like that and showing how to do that, because that's a really good source of how to get a job and find people that could be your mentor or teach you some more.
Excellent.
Yeah, in 5, 6, 7 years from now, students are going to be reaching out to you, Brooke. So you're going to help them just like an alum has helped you. Yeah.
Love it. How about you, Amelia?
I really liked how just how detailed you were in showing us about like Handshake and all of like LinkedIn stuff. I didn't even know that I had a Handshake profile that was already set up. I must have done it in like years past or whatever, but now I know actually where to go to access that and how to log in and edit it and stuff like that, which was really helpful.
Perfect. Awesome, Amelia. How about you, Colin?
I think for me personally, just a way of connecting with people. I never message anybody or let them know why I'm connecting with them. I usually try to connect the dots after that's all done. So
Great.
I think that'll be pretty beneficial going forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin.
You're welcome.
Taylor Parks?
Hi. I would like to say that this was super helpful. Sadly, I just started my LinkedIn account, so I'm just like getting everything set up, and everything that was said was really helpful because I was going on some of the jobs that some of the employers that I was looking at. I was trying to figure out who from UB worked there, and I was struggling, but this cleared up a lot.
Great. Awesome. Well, hopefully you got a lot of information to expand on your LinkedIn profile that you're creating. Awesome. Maxwell?
Yeah, it was definitely helpful. It was cool to see the handshake. Like you guys were saying, I didn't even really know it was like an option to even use. So it was interesting. And then to see like the events area where you could like kind of go to events and do them virtually or things like that. Yeah, that was really interesting.
Awesome. And all of you guys, make sure you're spreading the word, because very similar to your situation, you don't know what you don't know. And now that you got the exposure of Ed, you need to now spread the word and continue to drive people to Handshake and the Career Center. Shai Kwan, how about you? What did you learn?
Yeah, this was very helpful with the Handshake and the LinkedIn, how we able to contact alumni and businesses. I like how he's able to give us a format about messaging. So that's helpful.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And Sahan, how about you? Sahan, are you with us still? Okay, she may have logged off or went to do a commercial break. We also have Scott. He doesn't need to respond, but I wanted to thank him for attending today. He's one of my career coaches offline, and I thought what better person to bring to this session and to experience it firsthand how to develop his professional profile. And Ed, I love that you have alumni, the recording that alumni can go to and listen to that recording to provide their professional brand.
Any
Also,
student too. Yeah. Anybody can, just friend of UB, whatever.
Awesome. Awesome. So I may even direct my career coaching participants to your profile.
Sure. Yeah.
And spread the love there too. So I truly appreciate it. Any parting questions for Ed before we leave today? I know it's been a long session, longer than normal, but we had to have this one because this is the highlight of, I think, this course is having Ed being able to come.
And I would also encourage you to reach out to me to connect, because I have a lot of connections, which means when you do a search on LinkedIn, you might just see LinkedIn member for a list. And that means you can't look at the profile. That means that you don't have enough connections, right? So connect with me and that'll help you to see more people.
Perfect.
All right.
Any last minute questions before we depart?
I actually had a question. For when we were looking at how to set up our mock interview on Handshake, I saw that there was an option like for if you wanted to get more information on setting up a LinkedIn account. Is it more detailed compared to what you just told us right now, or is it more general?
Yeah, that's just going to be a LinkedIn. It's going to be a profile overview. Like it's almost like getting a resume review. That's going to be like kind of like an information. It'll be like a LinkedIn review, but I won't be.
Like,
I won't.
Would you
It won't be
be
me.
telling? Would you tell Taylor what she needs to do to improve her LinkedIn profile, like an audit?
Yeah, it'll be one of our career peer coaches that would do that. If you want to make an appointment with me, make sure that you are looking at, do job and internship search appointment. And then in the notes, just put LinkedIn review or whatever. Yeah. So, and just remember too, we do have a new function to review your resume. If you click on resumes and more, go down to a tool called VMock. And VMock will literally review your resume for you and give you a score and tell you how to improve it.
Oh, it's wonderful.
And, yeah.
So many tools to take advantage of. I'm just so excited that you were very thorough in sharing your career site with us as well as LinkedIn. Thank you so much, Ed. We really appreciate it.
Sure. All right. Well, come to my stuff, forward my stuff on LinkedIn, and that's how you can thank me.
Awesome.
Sure. All right.
All right. Bye, you guys. Thank you. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.